everyone. It's the end of the long weekend, unfortunately. Back to work tomorrow. I have 3 more days of working 8:30 to 7, and then it's back to 11:30 to 7. Yes. And starting September 22nd until December 15th, every Wednesday I'm going to get out of work early at 4 o'clock. Or at least most Wednesdays. There might be a couple where I'd have to work later, but most of them I will get out early. So that'll be nice. It'll mean a little decrease in my pay, unfortunately. But you know, I think after all these extra hours I've been working this summer, I think my body will need those early Wednesdays. So I think it'll be good. Anyways, I just wanted to give you a little update. I went to the ENT on Thursday, and they had to put a scope down my nose into my throat, which I wasn't surprised about. I figured it was going to happen, and my grandma told me it probably would happen because she went to an ENT and they had to do that with her. Now, she told me that she didn't feel it at all. Well, sorry, but I felt it. And of course, with my wonderful luck, they had to do it twice. They put it in one time and then realized that the camera wasn't working properly and had to take it out. And then they had to get a different one and put it in. So the best way I can describe it is that it felt like when you're swimming and you get water up your nose. As soon as, like when they first started putting it in, it kind of tickled until they started to go further in. Then it started to feel like water going up my nose, which was probably a combination of the camera going down and all the wonderful mucus buildup I have in my sinuses from this cold that I've had for 3 weeks now. And so my eyes started watering, and then when they told me to sniff in and then swallow, and I felt it going down my throat, I started to cough and gag, which was so much fun. Anyway, they did look at my ears, but didn't really see anything. So they really didn't address the ear pressure problem. However, with the scope, they found that first off, the first thing that he asked me after they did the scope was, what do I do for work? Do I use my voice a lot? Like, do I do singing? And he wasn't surprised when I told him that I sing, and I've been singing since I was 2 years old. There's a nodule on my vocal cords, which is commonly known as singer's nodule, and it's usually found in people like singers or even teachers or actors or just people that use their voice a lot. And he said basically what he compares it to is a callus. So I guess it's just from overusing your voice. So it makes sense because not only have I sung for many years, but then I was working in daycare, which requires a lot of use of the voice with the kids. So it really does make sense. And you know, even when I would read children stories to the children at the daycare, I would, you know, use different voices and expressions and things like that, almost like an actor. So it kind of stands to reason that I would have this. But he just didn't say much about that. He wasn't concerned about that. However, I looked up more information on it, and they were saying that the treatment for it is usually resting the voice, and also it said online that it can cause hoarseness, so that might be part of the reason why I have the hoarseness, but it's not all of it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But online I read up about it, and they just said that treatments are either resting the voice and trying not to use it much, which is kind of difficult when you're taking care of a 4-year-old. Gotta talk to him. And the other thing is to go to some kind of almost like a vocal rehab, where I guess it's almost like a physical therapy where they help you rehabilitate your voice essentially, so that you learn how to use your voice so that you're not overusing it and you're not straining it. And the last option is surgery can remove them, but usually just the rehabilitation and the resting your voice can actually shrink nodules, from what I read. But surgery is another option to remove them if they won't go away. But they said that for people like singers, you really have to take a lot into consideration when going for it. Although it's a simple procedure and a low risk procedure, they're very close to different things when they're working in there, and so for someone who sings, it could have the potential to interfere with their singing voice afterwards. So I don't know, he didn't really say much about that. However, what we really did find out also was that there's a lot of inflammation in my throat, and it was very red. And basically what he thinks is the main cause of my hoarseness is that the prednisone has caused me to have laryngitis. And he said this could be because I'm probably getting acid reflux from the prednisone. And he said I may not even be aware of it, which I'm not. I've had heartburn before. I know what it feels like, and I'm not feeling it. But he's like, quite often you won't feel it. And so basically, like, right before I was diagnosed, like about, I think it was 1 to 2 weeks before I was diagnosed, I was started on prednisone as well as pantoprazole, Pantaloc, and they had started me on the Pantaloc because I was having hoarseness at that time. And then they also said that it would also protect my stomach from the prednisone. Now at that time, the hoarseness was on and off. It wasn't every day. But I wanted to get rid of it, and so they thought at the time it was from acid reflux. So as it turns out, since then I've gotten worse to the point that my voice is hoarse every day. Some days worse than others. Sometimes 1 minute worse than the next minute. And basically it makes sense because I've been on prednisone since 2 weeks before I was diagnosed, so the prednisone is making it worse. Good old prednisone. So he wants to double the dose of the Pantaloc to see if that helps, and I have to go back and see him in 3 months, so at the beginning of December. So hopefully by then, this hoarseness, or should I say laryngitis, will have gone away with the help of the double dose. And I guess we'll see, he might have to change it to a different medication, or something. I don't know. He really didn't say too much in that aspect, but yeah, just something that I never knew could happen with prednisone. So yeah, it's a crappy drug, but it does help as well. And good news, I think I've finally adjusted to the 10 milligrams. I was really worried I was going to have to go back up on it because it had been like almost 3 weeks of pain. But the last few days have been pretty good. My fingers are back to normal. No more pains in my knees. I still get sore feet, the bottom of my feet, but I don't know. So yeah, so that's that. And Saturday was not a good day for me. I was having a lot of jaw pain, which I finally discovered was not actually from the jaw. It was from where the gum meets the cheek. I must have injured it somehow up there, and so I've now been putting Orgel, and that has helped tremendously. But also with my cold and my sinuses, I've had a lot of pain in here. And so Saturday my face was hurting, I had a headache, my nose constantly running again, coughing a lot, scratchy throat, sore throat, just felt terrible. And I had planned to do a lot of painting that day, but I really just spent most of it on the couch watching TV and just feeling really groggy and tired. I really think that this week has run me down. So I'm so glad that I only have 3 more days of the long shifts. It's going to be a nice break. And this coming Saturday is going to be the Walk for Lupus and silent auction. My doll got picked up yesterday for the auction, and my name is now on the list of donors, so that's cool. As you can see, I'm wearing my new shirt from Tremia. It fits. It does. Look, it fits. So I wore it today because it was a little bit chilly. It's been a very cool weekend. Yeah, and then yesterday morning I felt a little bit better. I got some chores done around the house, and I did do a lot more painting, and I'm almost done done painting. I just have to do eyebrows on my doll, and then I have to do the hair, and she'll be done. I guess that's pretty much it. My mom came over last night and we watched a documentary called Babies. It was really interesting to see how different cultures raise their babies. So it was really interesting. And then this morning I had another bad headache, and I just felt like I was going to want to sleep all day, but I dragged myself into the shower, and I had a shower, and that kind of woke me up a bit and helped, and I popped some Tylenol and put some Orgel, and then I felt a little bit better. So we went to Alex's dad's today, or this evening, for dinner, and it was nice. And now I'm really tired again. So I'll let you know how it goes this week, because I think I'm going to go to my family doctor about this cold, because I've been told that 3 weeks is too long for someone with lupus to have a cold, and that I probably might have a sinus infection, so I should get it checked out, because I might need antibiotics, or they might need to stop my immunosuppressants for a while so that my immune system can fight off this cold. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes. I have to try and find a way to squeeze that doctor's appointment in somewhere this week. I'll probably have to take Kyle with me. But if they can get rid of this cold for me, it'll be worth it. Anyways, that's all for now. Good night.